Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose, man. Look, things are heating up out here, and I'm hoping we get some kind of fight announcement. Whether it's Devin Haney against Rolly, Devin against Ryan. But one fight we know we're not going to get announced is Ryan against Rolly, because Ryan Garcia is putting duck sauce on the fried rice. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member. And pay attention. You're really starting to see, man, who really is about that action and who's not. Now, Devin Haney, for a long time, people have poked him in the eyeball and made fun of him and tried to clown him. But I just got to be real. Devin Haney will fight anybody. He'll fight anybody, man. Of course, he and his dad are very particular, very strategic. But I think Devin got more heart than a lot of these fighters. I ain't going to lie. Because one thing you're seeing is Ryan will not call out Rolly. He won't rematch Rolly. I don't understand. Why won't Ryan Garcia fight Rolly? Ryan looked like a beast against Barrios. He looked like a beast against Devin. But Ryan looked pretty normal against Rolly. But if he wasn't focused, if he was stressed out, if he was depressed, right? If he had rust on him, well, he got the rust off from now. So what's stopping him from going in there and scrapping with Rolly Romero? That's my question. So anyway, when I sit back here and look at Ryan Garcia's reluctance to rematch Rolly, I don't think it's about the styles. I don't think it's about timing. I truly believe it's about the risk versus the reward. Even though all three of them have titles at 147, I don't know, man. I just think Ryan's looking and saying, hell no. When I fought Rolly, first it goes back to the sparring. He knew Rolly was strong, but Rolly beat his ass in sparring. I think Ryan's saying, nah, he's awkward, unpredictable. He's strong as hell. But when you look at Ryan, Rolly, and Devin, Rolly doesn't bring the same commercial upside that bigger names do. So maybe that has a little bit to do with it. But I think it has a whole lot to do with a rematch with Rolly carrying serious danger, because Rolly got that firepower, you know what I'm saying? Well, he doesn't have the same legacy of money or upside that Ryan would get from a fight with Devin Haney rematch or other marquee opponents. And I understand that too. But I just got to be real. Rolly is a fighter who can disrupt rhythm and turn fights ugly, which doesn't help Ryan Garcia's brand as a clean, elite-level technician. From Ryan's perspective, there's no incentive to go backward when he believes he belongs in bigger conversations. And that's his opinion. I don't agree with that bullshit. I think Ryan's putting duck sauce on the fried rice because he knows when it comes to Rolly Romero, Rolly's no joke. Now, Devin is sitting back looking at all this saying, all right, I want to fight Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Devin wants to fight Ryan, but Ryan's, I don't know what the issue is with the testing. To me, Ryan doesn't have a leg to stand on. To me, Devin is the A side. That's just my opinion when it comes to the testing. Ryan cheated the first fight. Okay? I know some people are split as far as their opinions on that. Ryan cheated, man. If he really is about that life, he'd be like, all right, Devin, whatever testing, stringent testing, whatever you want to do, done. Let's just fight to prove the first fight wasn't a fluke. I didn't cheat. But for Devin to be sitting here saying, look, man, why is there a disconnect here? Why are you making this hard? If I'm Devin, I'd move on too. That's why Devin is like, shit, since Ryan ain't calling out Rolly and we can't seem to come to an agreement on this testing, I'll fight the guy who beat Ryan, which is Rolly Romero. And I think Devin Haney's position is really about principle. He's not trying to make things complicated for Ryan. Whatever Devin's going to do, he says Ryan needs to do it too. But I think Devin really at this position of his career and as far as the stance he's taking with Ryan, I think it's about principle. Somebody like, oh, Devin ducking Ryan. He ain't ducking. That shit has nothing to do with fear. Nothing to do with fear. Devin's willing to fight Rolly Romero because Rolly is not tied to any ongoing testing controversies, and Rolly beat Ryan. But Ryan, I'm just going to tell y'all, I don't care what y'all say. I think his issue is credibility, and anytime Ryan fights him, there's always going to be a credibility struggle. After what happened in that last fight with Devin, Devin has every single right to demand a rematch be held under strict VADA and blood testing protocols, urinalysis, hair sample, fingernail, toenail, check the skid marks in his drawers. Whatever Devin feels is necessary, he has every right to demand it. This guy has to protect his career his legitimacy in the sport, but more importantly, his health, because his health was compromised in that first fight. Ryan Garcia was hitting him with some goddamn missiles, boy. Shit was violent what Ryan was doing to Devin. And just to think that he was there juiced to the gills with the good stuff, that's sad to know that he got in the ring like that. But look, Haney's justified in saying he doesn't owe Ryan a rematch. He don't owe him shit. Ryan lost respect with many fans and insiders due to how the first fight played out, outside the ring. And in boxing, contracts don't just guarantee rematches. You got to be some trust there. And I don't care what anyone says. Most people, when they look at Ryan, they're like, yo, this dude's damaged the trust. Everybody's looking at this fight. I'm not going to sit here and get start carrying on about too much. But the vast majority feel Ryan Garcia was on something when he fought Barrios. That's the post that I'm getting. They say, hell no. How he looked like this? He looked like the same guy who fought Devin. So when we come back full circle, Devin doesn't need Ryan to prove himself. Devin did the unthinkable against Brian Norman Jr. So Ryan needs Devin to restore his own reputation. Why he's making that hard, I don't understand. But I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna say this again, and I want to underscore this. Devin has the right to take an A-side position. I understand Ryan Garcia and his profile and the millions of followers. I get it, but man, forget all that. Devin has the right to take an A-side position. Even though the money may be massive and Ryan has a lot to do with the kind of money that's going to be on the table for the rematch, Devin still has the moral and professional high ground. He just does, whether you like it or not. Ryan Garcia cheated in the first fight. Okay? It's not something I'm making up. He cheated. And that's how many fans see it. And because of that, Devin has every right to demand stricter testing, control fight terms, delay or deny a rematch, insist on neutral conditions. Devin has every right to do that. He'd be dumb if he didn't. His dad would be foolish if he didn't, because basically Devin could end up in the same situation he was in when he fought Ryan the first time. But I understand Ryan's status as a WBC champion. Look, Ryan is a champion now. He finally has a title. But that status at 147 doesn't really move me emotionally. I mean, Ryan, okay, here's the gold star. Atta boy, good job. I really don't give a damn. To many, that belt means nothing if he isn't willing to follow the same protocols as everyone else. Championships without credibility don't build respect, they build suspicion. And Ryan Garcia, he looking kind of suspicious right now. But there's the money and the principle, the Wu-Tang cream, ching ching. Everybody like that money, money, money. And I'm going to tell you, that's the only reason why I think this fight's still alive. That rematch between Ryan and Devin, that shit would generate massive paydays for both fighters. But Devin isn't wrong if he says, I don't need this fight. You need it. I don't need you. Ryan wants leverage, but fans can't understand how he feels he's entitled to dictate terms after failing to meet standards the first time. How you going to come in here and try to pull this A-side bullcrap? Sound like De La Hoya now. That's why we need to sit back and look at the boxing audience's perspective. They're like, yo, Ryan wants star treatment. Devin wants fairness. The fans want legitimacy. That's why the narrative shifted. Ryan is the one being questioned. And he's going to keep getting questioned, not Devin. Devin didn't cheat. I mean, it is what it is, So Ryan still think he has the power. He got star power, all right? Got to be real about that, but his star power, it doesn't outweigh controversy. Ryan Garcia is walking controversy. He's a controversy with boxing gloves. That's what he is. He thinks belts, followers, and pay-per-view value give him control. Nah. I mean, he'll have a voice, but it don't give him control of nothing. But power in boxing only exists if the public trust becomes the outcome. And right now, public trust is not there when it comes to Ryan Garcia. If fans believe a fighter is avoiding testing or accountability, that power disappears fast, and Ryan's power disappeared after that first Devin fight. And I don't think he'll ever regain it when it comes to rematching somebody like Devin. These other people who need a fight, Ryan may be able to kind of force some things, but really, anyone who fights Ryan, I know he's an A side, they should all be pushing for testing. But there's going to be people out there who need to fight, need the money, they want the opportunity. And Ryan's going to be able to do whatever the hell he wants when it comes to testing. But that championship status that Ryan has, it doesn't protect him from criticism. And that's why I'm pointing this shit out. And Devin holds leverage. No matter what people think, Devin has a strap too at 147. But Devin, 100% to me, he holds a whole lot of leverage. And I think 9 out of 10 people would agree that Devin should hold Ryan's feet to the fire. And be like, you know what? I'm not ducking Ryan. This shit's about standards. This is about holding him accountable. I have every right to refuse a rematch with this bozo, this cheat. I have every right to demand stricter testing. I have every right to fight Rolly instead because Ryan's afraid to rematch him. He won't even mention his name. And I have every right to take the A-side role. And you know what? If the terms are unfair, I have every right to walk away from this dude. Because he wants to come in here and have an unfair advantage again, obviously. And that, you know what? And I'll tell you what, Devin is right for that. See, he is totally justified to feel that way and to do those things. Ryan Garcia has no right to dictate terms until he proves he can meet those same standards. And until he does, fans like myself will keep viewing him as a champion on paper, not in principle, because I still think Ryan Garcia, I tell you, he can fight. I give him credit for that. I don't have no respect for the young man. No respect. And I do think he took a few years off of Devin Haney's career, the way he beat him down while he was juiced to the gills. Anyway, man, Ryan Garcia can't dictate terms. Devin Haney has every right to call his shots, be the A-side, and walk away if he wants to. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.